My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, and good morning. Another happy South Lake day. Life is ironically making me laugh already this morning. Things out of my control are just amusing me today. How about it, Jay? Are you amused?
Hold on here. Let me get my. I'm not even ready yet.
You're not even ready?
Oh, I'm amused, Joe. Any morning I get to spend with you is amusing for sure.
It sure is a lesson in perspective, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Since I got you on, I want to tell you about this thing that happened to me. I'm driving in this morning, and I get this phone call and I didn't catch it in time to answer. It went straight to voicemail, and it was from Municipal Law Enforcement. So I listened to the message, and the message literally says, 21 hours ago, we planted 3 pocket explosive devices around you. If you want to live, go to www. blah, blah, blah. This is a scam.
Wow.
And then it hung up. And I couldn't help but feel, the reason they do this, they had to spend money on that robo system, right? Somebody's going to call. Somebody's going to go on that website, and all their information, they're going to get some sort of a virus on their computer. I thought, do people really buy that? Who's going to buy that? Why are you going to put an explosive device on me? Am I that important? No.
Well, you are Joe from Joe Knows South Lake.
I am Joe from Joe Knows South Lake. The day that I get famous enough that somebody gets so mad they give me a death threat. Bring it on. I'm a jarhead. Anyway, so we got a great show for you today. Today is National Pastry Day. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about not Christmas movies. We're going to talk about, on Cup of Joe, we're going to cover gifting this week. I know we had a guest, but I'm going to delve into this a little bit more this week. And finally, we have an amazing guest. I've been trying to get him since almost day one. It finally coordinated. His name is Jeremy Elliott, and the name of his interview I'm calling Homeless to Hero. It's a must-see inspirational story. You must stay tuned for that. So we're going to hear from our family of sponsors. And when we get back, we'll get started. I'll see you in a minute.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Justin.
We would just like to wish you a very happy holiday from your CBD store, Claremont.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
West, now pre-leasing 28,900 square feet of commercial, professional office space in Claremont. Conveniently located on Highway 50, less than 2 miles from the Turnpike. A first of its kind in the Southeast, this pristine building creates the perfect blend of nature and modern design. If you seek a high-level image that matches your business, reserve your space today. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease@50west.com.
Burgerum, located in the Epic Theater shopping plaza on Highway 27,
is the premier destination for gourmet burgers. Using only the freshest ingredients, Burgerum offers a variety of burgers, salads, wings, and a whole lot more. Beef, chicken, lamb, fish, and even veggie. Burgerum has something for everyone, no matter your dietary preference. Burgerum, millions of possibilities, endless combinations.
Hello, my name is Michael Singh with Singh Insurance and Financial Services. Our goal is to build trust based on a clear understanding of how your insurance policy protects you, your family, and even your business. When was the last time you took a good hard look at your insurance coverage? Would you be open to the possibility of reviewing your policy with me? One review of your policy can save you valuable time and money. Call me today to set up a review of what may be available to you.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Claremont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
"50 West, pre-leasing now in Claremont. A first-of-its-kind commercial development in the Southeast. Contact us today to reserve your spot in this historic development. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease at 50west.com.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. Good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for your patience. Love to hear from my family of sponsors. If you are not one of our family of sponsors, you should talk to me. 2020 budget should have branding in your budget, and we are the best, most affordable way to guarantee that branding. So give us a call. You know the information. I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Okay, It's National Pastry Day. You know what? I really like the idea. Some of these food holidays seem a little ridiculous when I'm doing them, but at Christmas time, some of these seem very appropriate. Pastry Day. Did you know there are a bunch of different types of pastry? Like in its construction, chemically, what goes together, the different mix of flour and butter. Here's a quick list. Short crust is used for pies and tarts. They have sweet crust. Is the same thing as short crust, but it's sweeter. We have flaky crust, usually used for things like turnovers or sausage rolls. Puff pastry is actually layers that expand, and they usually use this kind of stuff is used for pot pie. If you think of a classic chicken pot pie, that's the kind of pastry you have. Choux, also known as pâte choux, which is pastry that is in layers that actually puffs up. So when you think of a cream puff or an eclair, that's a choux type pastry. And then finally, phyllo. Phyllo is actually the oldest kind of pastry, dating back from the ancient Greeks and Romans, and it's very multiple layers of very, very thin dough that come together. Think of baklava for that. So if you want to celebrate National Pastry Day, go out, get yourself some pastry, or better yet, pony up and do the work. Bake some cookies, bake some turnovers. Take it, try your hand. You might be better at it than you think. Okay, movies, not Christmas movies. Okay, in this time of Christmas season, Miss Pat, my beautiful beloved wife, drives me crazy with Hallmark and Lifetime movies because they are all the same movie. And while I am going to do a segment on that, that's not what this is. We are at the point almost 2 weeks after Thanksgiving that I'm starting to get really sick of Hallmark and Lifetime movies. So there's a whole bunch of, that you can go online and get lists of Christmas movies. And I actually delineate Christmas movies into two categories. There's Christmas movies that are about Christmas, and then there are not Christmas movies that really take place around Christmas. It's not about Christmas, it's a story that takes place at Christmas time or wraps up at Christmas time. Absolutely wonderful. I'm a big fan of old movies. Some of these movies, one of my favorites is It Happened on Fifth Avenue. This is a wonderful story of a guy who's actually a bum, is what they used to call it then. I guess we would call him homeless. And what this guy does is he basically finds a rich person's mansion who doesn't live there in New York City on Fifth Avenue, it's from the 40s, who lives in Florida for this winter. So he goes there for the winter, and then when winter is over, he actually goes to Florida and lives in their mansion down in Florida. This story happens around Christmas time about the rich guy and how this guy brings in people and changes their life from his perspective. It Happened on Fifth Avenue is worth a watch. There are dozens of these kind of movies, but that one is my favorite. So please, and I'll probably talk about some of them later on this week, but you really put that on your list. If you're getting sick of the same formula movies coming from Lifetime and Hallmark, that's a good change. All right, on Cup of Joe this week, we're going to talk about gifting. I talked about Holiday Hectic last week, and I told you should have a plan for gifting, for buying your gifts and getting stuff done so you're not freaking out in that last week. You know, Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. You don't want to be losing your mind on Monday and Tuesday. You want to be enjoying and getting ready to have fun and just be there for your family, which actually is the best gift you can give is your time. Jay actually was telling me today that he had a great time. Yesterday, all he did was hung out and played Frisbee with his child and with his son Jacob and with his beautiful beloved wife. Just had some good time together. And I can tell how refreshed and calm he is this morning, even though we're dealing with challenges. So gifting, really, really quick. I got to say, for Joe, rule number 1, to cash or not to cash. Don't give cash. I think if you're going to give a Christmas gift, put a little thought into it. Better a few small gifts that you put thought in and are appropriate for the person that you are with than to just do the easy thing and get a gift card, unless the gift card is for something that they absolutely love, but too many people use cash and gift cards just as an easy way out. Don't have a write the check mentality. Please put some thought into it. Wrap a box. Make them know that you really love them and you really care for them by giving something that has some thought put behind it. Okay, that's the segment for today. We're going to hear from the family of sponsors again. And when we get back, we're going to have Jeremy Elliott, who is a hero in my eyes. I won't give you much more of that story because I want to leave it to him. Like I said, we're going to hear from the family of sponsors. We'll get started when we get back. See you in a minute.
50 West. Professional office space in Claremont. Conveniently located on Highway 50, less than 2 miles from the Turnpike. A first of its kind in the Southeast, this pristine building creates the perfect blend of nature and modern design. If you seek a high-level image that matches your business, reserve your space today. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease@50west.com.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Are you tired of having drugs or alcohol ruin your life? Do you need to get off pain pills but still maintain pain relief? My office in Tavares has programs to help you. While not covered by insurance, program fees are affordable. My name is Alan Zupkin. I'm board certified and have helped thousands of patients achieve these goals. Please call me for further information.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Justin.
We would just like to wish you a very happy holiday from your CBD store, Claremont.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. Welcome back. Once again, one of the things that I am always the most grateful for when I get up in the morning is the sponsors that help us make all of this happen. You have a place in my heart that you may never, ever understand. Thank you. I am joined today by Jeremy Elliott. He's a friend of mine.
Joe!
Welcome, Jeremy.
What an exciting time to be here. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I am so glad. You know, I've been trying to hook up with you for several months, and you know, everything happens for a reason. I think this is a perfect time of year to get you on and to hear your story. This is Jeremy Elliott. He is the lead assistant manager at BP and
Circle K.
Circle
so
K.
Slash,
Circle K BP.
Hybrid, absolutely.
Right? He's a graduate of the New Beginnings residential program and a former, is my tongue going to work today?
It's going to work.
A former homeless guy. And actually, what's really funny is that Jeremy has a great story. We're going to hear from him. But I was actually quite enthralled in our conversation earlier to hear that, you know, we sometimes get this image of the homeless guy as, you know, the loser and gave up and, you know, probably from a broken home and, you know, he'd been doing drugs since he was like 4, you know. And you were a New York University student,
right? I didn't finish, but, you know, the beauty of it is where I started from, Joe. I came from a great family. Colorado, 2-parent household, which is different than a lot of people would assume nowadays. Just grew up in a upper middle class, you know, normal, if you could say, family. And
what did your mom and dad do for a
mom
career?
and dad? Mom has her doctorate. She actually has her doctorate in education. I was in her belly with my twin sister when she got it at the University of Colorado. So she did all of that, and she was a principal, consultant, all
what
of
about
that. Dad actually went from Army to Denver Police, which, you know, typically.
So a solid house.
You know, all the way. And so
you didn't have anybody beating on your head with a stick, you know. Yeah, well, when you did stuff,
I did stuff, but nothing.
You did have a veteran dad, so,
absolutely.
You know, had some
and
rules.
A police officer, so we had structure and we had things that, you know, most people aren't fortunate.
Did you grow up in church at all?
Grew up in church. From birth to church, so I had that foundation too of God and just knowing that relationship with Christ and having that community. So nothing really going on that would lead me down that path. So when I went to New York, you know,
How old were you when you went to New York?
I was 17 actually. I just turned, you know, went 17 to New York City.
Graduated high school.
Really was in theater and film, so the best place to go is
New York,
there,
right?
Or go to
Hey, you're
LA.
me in that. That's how I did.
Absolutely, right? So I just went and had scholarship and was going to live the dream and ended up learning about things that, you know, you don't really know. That's where the drugs and the partying and things back in the 90s, things happened. But
and your family's you know, I mean, 20 states away.
Absolutely, and you just are young and you learn things. And so I didn't finish. I went to be a starving artist. So I went home a lot and I did the waiting tables. I did, you know, a lot of different great things, tours and cruise lines and all the film stuff.
So it sounds like, I mean, you know, you're a hardworking guy.
Absolutely.
You know, and
good support.
Good support. You get a good family.
Yeah.
You get, So what happened?
So, it's a wild thing that happened. I look at it now, we're at our 3rd year anniversary. So 3 years ago, I'm in Denver, Colorado. I actually pick up a contract at Disney out here. And so I pick up a 4-month contract, so I head out here. And an unfortunate thing happened when a series of unfortunate things that just happened to anybody, really. I got robbed at gunpoint coming into town. And certain things just kind of spiraled out of that. I ended up getting into a very big depression and kind of trauma and locked myself in a hotel for 6 weeks and didn't come out. And I think what it was just this layer of me trying to be a people pleaser for my whole life and wearing these masks, to really support my family's vision of what I needed to be and support my own ideas and just kind of really not addressing my true identity and stuffing down things that all of a sudden everything bubbled up to the surface.
Do you know what's really funny is Gary Vaynerchuk, a big like motivation guy.
Sure.
He's not necessarily a self-help guy, but he's a big business guy. One of the things he talks about is the generations, the millennials,
Sure.
that are not successful because they're trying to live somebody else's vision.
Absolutely.
They're not being them. They're trying to do what somebody else wants.
No authenticity, and you will not win doing that. You will find a bottom, and that's exactly it, Joe, because that's what I did, and that's how I think it happens.
Was drugs a part of that at
Drugs
all?
became a part of it, but it wasn't.
It wasn't the initial.
It wasn't the
impetus?
initial. No, not at all, because you're a product of the environment that you're in. And for me, I was like one of those that was a social, partier. So I was the party guy that would a bartender. Buy drinks for people. We would do a lot of drugs.
You're not supposed to be taking a page out of my story, Jeremy.
I feel like I did. I feel like that's why we relate sometimes, is because we're all connected in
But that people-pleasing thing makes you do very well in that industry. It's why I did well in the food industry, because I was a people-pleaser.
Yeah, you want to please people, and then you're there, you find yourself partying and drinking. You work so hard, and then you say, I deserve this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
60, 70 hours a week, every week, every weekend, every night,
what's
every holiday, right?
Yeah.
I deserve this.
I deserve this. And then you go to work drunk or whatever, and you're dealing with a lot of that.
And suddenly you don't have work.
You don't got work. You just got the goods.
Yeah.
And that's tragic. So that's kind of where my background was. And then.
So did you? So obviously you're here because you I've titled this interview "Homeless to Hero."
Right.
The homeless was the homeless that period that you were in the hotel, or were you like under a bridge?
So here's what happened. So with the hotel, I just started losing it, and I had pride and shame and stuff. So I didn't call home. Family probably at that point would have left me to my own, because I had been a prodigal son coming back home, back and forth. So I ended up
kind of I love you, son, but you need to face your consequences.
Yeah, grow up, mature, and deal with it. And so I found myself, I thought I knew what was best, and I said, once I get to the shelter, I gotta start manning up. And so I got to the shelter, and in Florida, I had no ID after 6 weeks after getting robbed. So I had no identification, couldn't leave, and couldn't even get in the shelter. So that was when rock bottom.
Why couldn't you get in the shelter?
In Florida, you have to have some form of ID. So that was a huge.
It seems kind of ironic, doesn't
it? It seems ironic
that
right?
you're homeless,
yeah, right?
But you have to have an ID.
Absolutely.
If you don't have an ID,
you're really homeless.
You're homeless.
You're living out on, and people don't know these things sometimes.
You can't get an ID without an address, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that was a whole nother conundrum. But I found myself with a community of homeless people. I sat in a park, and then all of a sudden you talk to these people who are drinking and doing drugs, and you say, well, what do I do? And then you find yourself doing the exact same thing and living under I-4 is where I lived.
Yeah, they told you how to survive and do drugs, right? So,
absolutely, do drugs. And I found myself flagging that sign, Joe, something that,
so much for pride, right?
Pride is out the
window. But you know what? Here's a really funny thing. I'll bet you still had a lot of pride.
I
didn't want to ask for help.
I did. That was the issue. Didn't want to ask anyone for
Let me
help.
ask you this. So that's where you're from.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about why here. How did you get to to New Beginnings?
Right. So what was beautiful about New Beginnings is it took me 5 weeks to get into New Beginnings because it was holiday time, and they had such an influx of people that were calling and needing things, of course, needing to find shelter. It's winter, it's cold. And so I had to be persistent in calling them.
Let me ask you real quickly,
Sure.
and because you're an expert on it, not just because you've been through the program, I know you work with the program. Tell us really briefly, just a quick, 60 seconds, what is New Beginnings? Just because we've had guests from New Beginnings before, but just for those people who may not know.
Yeah, New Beginnings is a beautiful brainchild of Steve and Linda Smith. 2007, they met a homeless guy, and they said, well, we can't have this. And they wanted to, in our community. And they made a residential program. Now they've got 2 thrift stores that really feed into those residential programs that teach life skills development. They teach job placement, faith. It's a faith-based organization, so you learn from different churches in the community. And you really just restructure your life so that it's not a handout, it's a hand up to really breaking the foundation and starting over. So it's a real beautiful
Steve
thing.
and Linda, too, are very, very cool in that they don't really fit the image. And it's probably why New Beginnings is so successful in what it is. They're the kind of people that see a problem and they didn't just hand somebody some money or take a guy into their home. They found a way. They said, oh, this is a problem, and then dedicated 7 years of their life, right?
Right to their lives.
Steve was, I think he was a
He's
banker.
A banker, absolutely.
Right? He was a banker.
Linda's on, many boards, and that's not their wheelhouse either,
right. So you get to, how did you get into the program? You 5 weeks, so you get started.
The program, which is crazy. So
when was that? When did you start?
I actually came in on December 31st, 3 years ago. So I came into the program. I yelled at God and said, please, I'll quit everything and I'll just surrender my life to you if you get me into this program.
The desperate deal.
Absolutely.
We've all been in that at that spot at some point in time where we felt life was beating us up so bad.
That's right.
That we had to have that desperate deal.
You got to surrender.
So, but God answered your prayer.
Absolutely. Yep.
And
I got in on the 31st, and what's crazy about that is that day
of December
changed of December.
Wow.
And that was
so you're starting a whole year brand new, right?
Brand new. And so I did that.
What was that first day like?
It was daunting and scary because not only I'm not from here, and I was literally downtown. I had never seen Claremont. So I got to see this amazing property. I felt love that I've never felt from a community. So I truly believe that these people were angels, and that's what it felt like, was that I was scooped up at my worst place, my most vulnerable, because I decided I'm not going to be fake. I'm going to learn who I am, and I'm going to be who I am at 40 years old almost, and I'm going to just, buy into this program, and I'm going to do what it takes to change my life. And that's what it was, is these people helping me.
I want to take a break here because we have to take a break because I want to talk a little bit about your experience at New Beginnings. Absolutely. But I want us to focus more on what's happened since.
Sure.
So when we're going to hear from our family of sponsors. When we get back, we'll hear more from Jeremy Elliott. Please stay tuned. This is an amazing story, going from homeless to a hero. So we'll see you in a minute.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Justin.
We would just like to wish you a very happy holiday from your CBD store, Claremont.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
"50 West" now pre-leasing 28,900 square feet of commercial, professional office space in Claremont. Conveniently located on Highway 50, less than 2 miles from the Turnpike. A first of its kind in the Southeast, this pristine building creates the perfect blend of nature and modern design. If you seek a high-level image that matches your business, reserve your space today. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Pun at 407-403-4165, Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767, or visit lease@50west.com.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. And welcome back. Great to hear from our sponsors. We are joined today by Jeremy Elliott. He just got finished telling us about his background and how, he grew up in a great home, had a great life, but just through a series of events ended up homeless. So your first day at New Beginnings, Central Florida, finally some relief. Very scary, I'm sure, because you're looking at changing your whole life.
Right.
So tell us about the journey at New Beginnings. How long was the program?
So at that point, it's a 10-week program, and the first day they told me my issue was they didn't think I'd sit still, and that's a big problem for people that they find. And I kind of said, you know what, I'm going to challenge that, and I'm going to stay put. And so the process really is it's a 16-week, it's almost 4 weeks of different things. So you've got your life skills development, you've got some addiction, and
is that first 4 weeks?
It all kind of rotates depending on when you come in. So you might come in at the end of something.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then it kind of swings back around. But
so they're not individualizing the program. They're teaching a block of life skills.
Life skills.
If you come in during that, you're starting with life skills.
Absolutely, and that's what it is. It might be resume preparation and job preparation. It might be.
You've used the term life skills a couple of times. Just give us a brief list of what that might mean.
Absolutely. So you may have budgeting, finance management. You may have, like I said, job placement. You might have how to cook. This is a big one. Nutrition, things like that. Getting your own place. Things that people haven't really filled out, applications and things like that. Health, so when you're looking at your medical, things like that, paying off loans and things, it's really unearthing everything that you kind of push down and throw to the side when you become homeless.
Do you know, you say throw down to the side, but I know an awful lot of people who are not homeless who could use a lot of those skills.
And you know what,
Joe, that's that whole concept of living paycheck to paycheck and only having, most Americans being one catastrophe away from being in financial crisis because they don't have those skills,
And you know what you just said, you touched on a huge thing. That's how people in our community, I believe, really get homeless, because a lot of those people that are at New Beginnings, Joe, are just that. They're not people that have had a history of drug abuse so much. There are those, but you get guys that have come out of the military, or you get people that have lost their child, and all of a sudden devastation has hit them, and they don't know how to pick up their life again because they've lost.
Do you know what's really funny? The military thing is big in homelessness, and I know a lot of people that have wondered why, but I think I understand this because in the military, all your decisions are made for you. A lot of people thrive in that kind of structure.
Absolutely.
And even as you go up the ranks, there's almost always and of course, as you go up the ranks, you learn more about decision making and stuff. But still, you're told where to be, when to how to do it.
Right.
If you rent an apartment but you get kicked out, there's always the barracks.
You've got that,
right?
A backup.
There's always a backup.
Right.
And so guys get out of the military and they have no safety net. No. The military structure has been their safety net.
Right.
And I guess that's the nature of homelessness, isn't it? Your safety net is pulled out from under you and you fall off the wire. Right.
And you claw at the next thing that you can cope with. And so in your vulnerability, you go to your vices, and we all have them. So you go to
because you're desperate to feel good, right?
To feel right,
yep,
to
makes
cope.
sense.
And so that's what part of some.
And
of
I've known people that have gone not just there's an assumption for drugs and alcohol, but it could be sexual promiscuity.
Absolutely.
It could be rage. It could be depression. It could be eating, robbery,
any of that.
crime,
Sure.
whatever allows you to feel control and power, right?
Absolutely.
So you go through the first 16 weeks.
Sure.
What happens then?
So what's beautiful is like everything kind of happens, and through that program, there's so many partners that people through our community partner with New Beginnings. I'm able to work at the thrift store, so you get hands-on work and
while you're in the program.
So you're humbled, and for me, I never thought I'm working in some of these environments. It's breaking down pride instantly, and you're learning. People are you get to meet volunteers, you get to see the community, and you're working in the thrift store, and you're also doing all of these other classes, and those classes are offered to the community, not just those residents too at New Beginnings. So you could come in and take those life skills classes. But so those things happen, and during that time, where I'm building it up, I'm getting a foundation of faith, of restructuring, even though I knew how to do resumes, and now I'm relearning and retooling and reskilling for myself, but also I get to help others. And so what I think is happening is I'm learning how to be a leader and how to be led.
So was the program 16 weeks total?
Total, 16 weeks.
So
in that first phase.
So tell me about the second phase.
Second phase is called aftercare, really. And so you get an opportunity to stay on property, and they have other properties that they can move you to, but you start working then. So there you get to build mentorships, and you get to get a job in the community, but you're still in a safe environment.
So how long is the second phase?
It can be any amount of time. So you really start saving money, and that's
until you're stable. The second phase.
So
that's so unique, because so many programs are like, bink. This is it. You've done your 10, 11 months.
Get out of
here. If they have another phase, great, but they may not have another phase, and they might plug you into something else.
Sure.
But so that makes that New Beginnings unique. Well, here's the thing.
Sure.
So how long were you in the second phase for?
So the funniest part is I was probably the oldest second phaser. I stayed almost 2 years in New Beginnings in that phase.
But you were also teaching classes. Now you'd really advanced personally. You'd really grasped what was going on, right?
So I shifted all the way into kind of a house captain.
You were almost in a servant leader training program at that point, right?
100%.
I mean, so you're not just, you're submitted to authority of the program. You've been layered into as one of the leaders of the program. The standard second phase isn't 2 years.
Absolutely not. It's usually around
the whole idea is
6 months
independence,
or less.
right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Always getting people ready to
So
move.
New Beginnings has opened up this new, what we call workforce housing.
Right.
It's subsidized to some degree. And I don't want people to think Section 8.
Right.
It's not like that.
Even.
It's things that are priced reasonably. It's affordable housing.
Sure.
Do you live
for the
there?
working class?
Woodwinds?
That's what I was kind of waiting for. So Steve's brainchild, and along with a lot of other amazing people throughout the community and legislators, was this affordable housing so that it could be a pipeline from a New Beginnings or from other
programs like that,
that show people that, hey, we want to have affordable housing for our working class, and that's happening throughout the country, but this is a really big thing for our community.
I think one of the cool things about it's Woodwinds, right?
Woodwinds
is that those classes continue, and people are encouraged not just to stay where they are, not just to be stable, but to continue to grow.
Yes.
So hopefully the idea is that they get to a place of financial stability where
100%.
they can buy their own house.
That's the whole goal.
Do something else.
Right.
I want to, because we are going to run out of time here. I want, I told you earlier, where from, why here, where you're going.
Right.
I want to get to where you're going, because you have done more than, you're not just a guy showing up to your assistant manager job.
Right.
You're doing a lot in the community.
Absolutely.
Most recently, you hosted a gala, and you share your story all the time.
Absolutely.
I really think that Where are you going? Are you going to write a book? Do you see yourself as a speaker?
Right.
Do you just want to be humble and teach at New Beginnings?
Right.
Do all of it?
That's it.
Tell us where you want to go.
I want to be Slash. So not the guitar player. I don't have the hair for it and the
love
rock,
that
you know.
concept.
But I want to be this/this/this because I believe that that's the identity that I've been able to find, and that's so I've got the job at the gas station, which is a pipeline to the community. So I get to encourage people. I get to really to bridge people into some things like a New Beginnings or like meeting Joe if someone's asking about real estate or somebody cool to hang out with, you know. And so that part has funneled me into our nonprofit, which is Bridging Inspired People. So it's with that, it's a collective group of people that are artists, community members, businesses, where we are able to bridge people and connect people. And so that community is kind of a spin-off that we're moving towards. So for me, we're cultivating that right now, and it's really about artistic projects for young people too. So this year I was able to work with young people. Young Ladies was our first project, and we did a project that's called Shattered, and it was about identity and really helping them. So that was one project that we're working on. It's a docudrama, so check that out soon.
Oh, cool.
It'll be coming to our community to really talk and spotlight that. But I also have working with Real Life and working with Otis at Give a Day Foundation.
Yeah, Otis is amazing.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
We're all.
I
saw that.
He's
that
been
episode.
on my show. I think we're bringing up something here.
Sure. And Label Me His, which is awesome. It's a community group, and that's really something huge that we...
Tell us what Label Me His is.
So Label Me His is a collective group as well of believers in Christ, and we really just stopped all the labels and the branding that the world really places on us. And this right now is a spotlight series that talks about my homelessness, and you can go to labelmehis.com and take a look at some of the stories. And that's what we really are talking about is stories. People that are believers and non-believers.
Are these posed pictures, or were these actual pictures of you at the time?
These are posed pictures, but they are 100% in that environment that I was in. So we went back to the areas.
These are all something that happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Things that were right there. And you can go to my Facebook and just see all of that because it's a really riveting story from people that are just real, not a bunch of, Bible thumping people, but not that there's anything wrong with it.
One of the themes we believe in, one of the things that was really attracted to you was that authenticity.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's one of the themes of the show. It's one of the themes of my life.
Sure.
And, we all run into haters.
Oh, there's always going to be plenty.
And of course, my attitude is always, you're lost, man.
Yeah. Well, they're haters until they're graders.
Yeah.
You got to be greater than the hater. You're in that role. We know you're good at it, but then you got to come and be inspired by something like a story like yours or mine. And find that authentic self.
The real beauty of your attitude and that concept is that that's what you need to achieve success.
Yes,
and obviously you had some of that in you, but New Beginnings brought that out.
Absolutely. Really helped sharpen that and let me be where I was at. And that's the thing that I think they were best at, and I think our community is awesome at, is that letting people be where they are, allowing them to be where they are, and then showing them and encouraging them. And what I see at the gas station is people opening doors. Our community is unlike any other, Joe. And I get to see that and be a part of it. And all I really want to do is encourage people when they're at their bottom at this time of year to really just kind of do one thing. Like you having me on is just one thing that really can help somebody else. And I just love your show.
Do you know what's really funny is I've watched you. I wish I could take some of your energy and inject it into some other folks.
Yeah.
I have to say that I saw Jeremy one day up at the store.
Right.
And we weren't real close. I don't think he knew who I was,
No.
but I knew who he was. And he was working, and he
Sure.
was dealing with a customer who was being a total douchebag. I mean, he just was, and Jeremy, and I mean, the guy was just going on and on, just being a complete jerk.
Yep.
And you were just handling him with a smile and trying to help. And I think the fact that you were smiling was making him even more mad.
It's the best.
You know,
It is, yeah.
but you were trying to help him solve his problem. Of course, all he wanted to do was to whine.
Right.
You know, he just, and he never but he like said some things I wanted to leave out of there and punch him right in the throat. You know, I was like, you know, you don't have to be that much of a jerk to get what you need, you know. And I mean, the funny thing was, he was like ranking on you and the poor girl behind the counter. And all I could think was, it's not their fault. You know, it's, I mean, he's blaming you for something about the pump or something. And I'm thinking,
pump paper problem.
you know, dude, you know, it's not their fault your card got declined. You know, that's your
that
fault, you know. So, but it was just cool to see that, and I see that in everything that you do, you know, and it's hard to impart that on people,
right?
You know, I have people tell me, they're like, "Well, Joe, you're just too intense."
Right.
What do you mean? I'm just happy I'm in
what
love
would you
with
want to
life.
be like? Going through life like
That's exactly what you
Once
want.
you learn, right, Joe, how to live regardless of circumstance, and to really just take it as it comes, like you and I do, you can't quit. There's no doubt.
Know, it's funny, and some of it is faith. You know,
it is,
you know where you've come from.
Absolutely.
You know what you've done and what you deserve. You know even the thoughts that are in your own head.
Absolutely.
I think people don't understand this sometimes. But having been there, you know, that in a place in my life where I should not have anything that I have, it gets very, even though I feel sorry for myself every now and then. Jeremy and I were having a great conversation about feeling sorry for yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, and then realizing somebody next to you might be dying.
There's one.
Right?
Yeah, wait 5 minutes.
I mean, a dear friend of mine shared a story on Facebook about how she lost her son and has managed to build her business and become this influencer. And, you know, and so it's hard to look at that and think, you know, well, what was my problem again?
Right.
You know, and
at
when
least you're doing that.
But when you've been where you and I have been, where, you know, where life has been really beating you up.
Absolutely.
It's hard not to be grateful.
Yeah.
You know,
you just hit the word grateful. And I'm grateful for everything this community, this is home for me. And I'm just like you said, you have to build on where you're at. So what I'm looking to build is, you know, going and motivating more people through my story.
You know,
meeting people
Jeremy,
like
it's
you.
amazing you said it. So many people that I tell this to people when I'm trying to book them for the show. Say, I am on a mission to put a spotlight on the cool people that make up the community of South Lake.
Absolutely.
And they look at me like, what do you want?
Yeah. What are you
just
selling?
Told you what I wanted.
It's in that box. Are you cool?
It's very simple.
Very simple.
You know, this has been a great. You were a perfect example of what Joe Knows South Lake is all about. Cup of Joe is all about, and it's all about. There is no mistake. There's no tragedy. There is nothing that if you do the right thing, if you make the right decisions. Just the little tiny ones. If you do the right thing long enough over the course of time, consistently, life will start handing you good things.
Absolutely.
You know?
And then give it back to Joe.
And give it back.
You know, because that's the key.
Part of the formula.
I haven't had a drink. I haven't smoked in 3 years. And I say that because it's not that every day it isn't a challenge. But by giving back and by being able to bridge community like this, it is my responsibility to stay the course, and the course of my life is now to do it.
Do you know, so many people forget where they come from. I've done a lot of giving back to things and organizations and places that I've been in, and you know, and I do it as much, not just because I'm so generous, but I really need to be reminded sometimes of where I was.
Right.
You know, see the guy that's totally lost and shot out and completely, you know, doesn't know where his life is going to go. You know, and meet people with that attitude, and you're like, wow, thank you, Jesus. You know.
Right.
Anyways, this has been great, Jeremy. Thank you for coming on, man.
Been awesome.
We're going to definitely have you back the next time we need an injection of positivity. I just want to thank Jeremy for coming on. I want to thank New Beginnings.
Absolutely.
Because of this kind of work. Jeremy's a great story.
Yes.
They've got dozens of them. Jeremy's just the one I hooked up with, you know.
Absolutely.
And so I just want to thank you for tuning in Look, take this story. If you know somebody who should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, somebody cool in our community, they don't have to be amazing. They just got to be cool. They got to be doing something cool. They got to be a good person with a good story. Let me know. I know the information is up. And if you're not branding on Joe Knows South Lake, on South Lake TV, you're missing out. We are the resource for local information. Soon, next year, we'll be doing news. Jay and I were just talking about that today. People need to come here, help us get the word out.
Yes.
But if you're not branding, if you're not advertising with us, you're missing out. And you're going to want to be here when everybody else is. Be here now. Finally, I'd like to remind you that there is greatness inside you. And as Jeremy is doing, using his greatness to bring out the greatness in others, I dare you to bring out the greatness in somebody else today. Spread some Christmas cheer. Yes. Give somebody a smile, a hug, a pat on the back. You won't regret it. Now, I will see you tomorrow, and I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe Knows South Lake. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors: